Okay, this is the level check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Everybody getting ready on Facebook and YouTube. Everything's supposed to be okay. You might hear me fumbling around with the mic right now. I'm getting it ready. And we will have a nice long weather chat right here from the Fox 19 Now Streaming Center. So, hi everybody, this is Meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer. Let's see, all my buttons say that I'm doing everything right. So if you can't hear me, it doesn't make any difference because you don't even know I'm speaking. but overall, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Hey, this is a pretty cool shot right here, I think, anyway. And what you're looking at, downtown Cincinnati from Newport on the Levee. Now, Newport on the Levee, right now they're recording a show, a Bengals show that our sports staff does that airs tomorrow night at 11:30, and you can go down and be part of it. You can actually meet Bengals players and things like that. I don't have any more information on it. But hey, look at it. See that big plume of smoke in the background? That is pretty cool. And I will tell you that what it is, it's a power plant in southeast Indiana. Kind of seems weird, doesn't it? But let's go ahead and change cameras. Now we're going to use and it's 73 degrees, we're going to use our tower cam. And this is from the west side of town looking over toward the setting sun. And that is literally a plume of smoke from a power plant down there along the Ohio River in southeast Indiana. And we see that all the time. And it helps us get an idea of exactly which way we're looking. You're looking almost due west at this point. So 73 degrees out there right now. And hope you're having a great day. We had plenty of rainfall for a while. Yeah, it's there. A couple of the monitors aren't working right now. We had plenty of rainfall for a while. I had to dig in the garden today, and I got down beneath this much of the topsoil, you know, the loose stuff. It was wet finally. Got down to the clay layer that's all over my yard, and it was like rock. I was trying to use a shovel. I had to go get a pickaxe to dig through that, and it was as dry as could be. I mean, it was tinder dry when you get down below the topsoil layer. So we had plenty of rain. At our house, we've had a little bit more than an inch. And second, I got to adjust the lights here. And what we ended up with is the soil now and the root zone for the small plants is great, but the clay area is just dry as can be. Okay, so here is radar, and what you see here, oops, there we go. I'm not sure how I did that, but you can see some showers moving to the north, dying out as they do. I can't rule out a sprinkle this evening in a few spots around the Tri-State, but nothing severe, nothing that you'll even notice for the most part. If we zoom out and head to the south, this is Hurricane Helene. It is a Category 1 storm, and it is going to be even worse than we talked about yesterday. I'll explain that coming up here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the track map. This is the latest forecast from the Hurricane Center. Now, the 85 miles an hour is the sustained wind level, gusting to 105, and the sustained winds of 85 puts it as a Category 1 hurricane. Excuse me a second. Okay. So what we're looking at there is, here's the track, heads to the north. The Hurricane Center's forecast now says Helene should make Category 4 status. Now, the reason it's strengthening so much, atmospheric conditions are right, but the waters of the Gulf of Mexico are not far from 90 degrees. And I just think a lot of the energy hurricanes get comes from the heat in the water. And it's not only on the surface, but it's a really deep layer because the hurricane itself churns up the water. And so if you have 90-degree water, but it's only a foot deep on the top of the ocean, and the hurricane's churning up the water, it's bringing cool water from below. And oftentimes, because a hurricane churns up the water so much, it can bring up that cool water and kind of shut itself off and become self-limiting, shut itself off from energy. But in this case, the water is really, really deep. I mean, the 90-degree water really deep. So this hurricane is going to churn up and bring nothing more than warm water up. And so they expect rapid intensification. Okay, now here's the other bad thing. As it comes onshore here to the south of Tallahassee, it'll either be a Category 4, a low-level Category 4, or a strong Category 3, according to the latest forecast. As it heads toward Tallahassee, emergency management people are already talking about people maybe being without power for weeks, because it'll be doing that much damage and take that much time to get it fixed up. And they're also saying this could be the greatest natural disaster that Tallahassee has ever seen. And that's a lot to say when it hasn't even gotten there yet. So even if it decreases to a medium strength category 3, it is going to be a big, big problem. And then again, remember what we were talking about yesterday. The track here and the coast of Florida kind of make a funnel, right, like this, okay? So it's making a funnel, and so all the air circulating like this, pushing that water, means that there are going to be high tides or coastal flooding from the storm surge all the way up the coast. They're thinking that the storm surge flooding could be 10 feet deep in the Tampa, St. Pete area. Okay, and even higher here, because remember, here's the path of the storm. The air's all flowing like this. Here's the coastline. So just think of it as a funnel pushing all that water to the north onto the shore, and so they could have record. Okay, not only could they have storm surge values that are 20 feet or higher. That means if you're standing right on the beach, what's normally sea level, the water would be 20 feet deep over your head, just pushed that way by air, and sometimes a little bit of a pressure reduction helps. So it's mainly the wind flow. Okay, so then it hits Tallahassee, and then it heads to the north, and it weakens rapidly. It's hard for a hurricane, even over open water, to maintain Category 4 strength for a long time. I mean, that's just a lot of energy that's got to be generated, and it's hard for it to keep up with that. Okay, so they expect it to make Category 1 status south of Atlanta. You just saw that one there. Head to the west of Atlanta, and then kind of tread water and spin its wheels back here over western Kentucky and western parts of Tennessee, which could add a lot of rain there. And for us, some of those rain bands will swing northward, and we could see anywhere from 1 to 4 inches in the tri-state. We'll look at that in just a minute. Okay, so what happens, that happens, and then it begins to weaken. The rest of the remnants come this way Saturday and Sunday and bring us a few more showers. But the big problem is the wind gust and the rain. So Thursday night into Friday morning, we could see winds gusting. Some of the models are now saying Friday afternoon we could see 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, okay? Not a lot of them, but a few 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And so let me kind of put the whole thing in perspective here. Number one, we're coming out of a drought. It's still really dry out there. Even though we had a lot of rain, it is still really dry. I had to dig in the garden, as I said, and the clay layer is dry as can be, and it is hard as a rock. But so what happens is that a lot of the trees out there, even if they're healthy, are water stressed, and that means some of the limbs that weren't doing so well are ready to fall on that. So not only are we going to have heavy rain, which could cause some flooding Friday here. It's a first alert weather day because of all this. So first of all, heavy rain falling on soil that still hasn't broken up and is still kind of baked from all the dry weather we've had. So that means rapid runoff. That could be flooding. In addition to that, we have trees that are really stressed from the lack of water, and that lack of water stress, or the drought stress, means that a lot of the limbs will be coming down. Now we have little limbs, I mean, in the past couple of days, all over our yard coming down from some of the big trees around there. Nothing, So if you get 60-mile-an-hour wind gust, there's still leaves on some of the trees. Some of the trees will topple. Some of the trees will just shed limbs. So we're likely to have some damage from that, and we're likely to have numerous power outages on Friday. Think of just the wind, causing problems with the wind primarily taking down trees, tree limbs and that, then taking down wires, or wires going like this and snapping on their own. So flooding, high winds causing power outages, and not a really nice day on Friday. So the timing on this, just let me give you a preview. If you've got afternoon or evening plans on Friday, and Friday is the big high school football day, it is not a good time to have a football game going on. Even though the highest winds are expected in the afternoon, they could still be gusting to 40 miles an hour during the football games along with some rain. And we may have to adjust this timing, so it's really kind of too early to say, oh, we're going to cancel the game. But we ought to keep an eye on it. If you may have to cancel your high school football game tomorrow. So lots of stuff going on. It looks like it'll be much better. Still be breezy on Saturday, a little breezy on Sunday, a few showers both those days. But the big day for us is Friday, and Friday's the first alert weather day. So one more time, stressed trees from the drought, lots of limbs and trees coming down in the high wind gusts, power outages and some flash flooding around the tri-state during the day on Friday, especially afternoon and evening, and then it begins to settle down as we head on into Saturday. Okay, so that is the track right there. And now let's switch over, and the number you see there, 3 miles per hour, that's the wind gust. Not the sustained wind, that's the highest wind gust. So we're going to put this into motion, and that, of course, the green and yellows, the rainfall. There's Helene coming onshore. You can see it heading through northern Georgia, crossing the southern Appalachian Mountains, heading into Cincinnati. There's a 46-mile-an-hour wind gust. You know what? I'm going to walk through this manually so we can see it a little bit better. Okay, so at this point, we are, let's go back to whatever time this is. Okay, so here is Thursday at 8:30 p.m. So winds gusting into the 20s Thursday evening as the hurricane comes across the southern Appalachians there and comes our way. Notice a 38-mile-an-hour wind gust. Oops, where'd it go? Oh, this thing is so crazy. It drives me insane because if you start going one way and you stop, it'll pick up with going the other way despite the fact that you move the mouse the other way. Okay, so Friday at 11:10 a.m., 46-mile-an-hour wind gust here. Okay, we go forward in time a little bit, and we have a 64-mile-an-hour wind gust at 2:30 p.m. Now, this is model prediction, so it doesn't mean it's going to be exactly right, but it's giving you the indication that we're going to have a lot of power outages and problems on Friday. On Saturday or Friday, as we head into evening, the winds begin to die down. But look at this, at 5:50 p.m., still 38 miles an hour. And by 8:20 p.m., down to 27 miles an hour. But the rain still coming down around the tri-state. And we'll look at the rain timing in a little bit more detail coming up. Okay, then we head on into Saturday morning, and notice by the time we get to about 6 a.m., or let's say 7 a.m., 7:30, the winds are down to 24 miles an hour. And the rain's off to the south and east. The rain, west of the rain, will come back, bring us some more showers Saturday and then on into Sunday, and the winds stay kind of breezy right on through the weekend. Okay, so let's take a look now at the rainfall. Now, this will show you the rainfall totals. Rainfall totals there in yellowish red in the southern Appalachians around Smoky Mountains National Park could reach 20 inches. And if you've ever been to Smoky Mountains National Park or any of the hills of the Appalachian Mountains, you know what that means. That means massive flooding down that way. For us, as Helene comes north and then curves off to the west, heads over to Missouri, western Kentucky, and western Tennessee, we're going to see up to 2 inches just to the north. Now, this is a new model update, so the lighter blue is up to 2 inches, and that doesn't touch any of our viewing area now. It did earlier, on an earlier run. 1 to 3 inches in most of our viewing area, and then 2 to 4 inches in the red there. So if you're in Carroll, Gallatin, Owen, Grant, parts of Pendleton counties, and southern Lewis, you could potentially see 4 inches of rainfall out of this. And this is just from Thursday night into Friday night, okay, when it begins to settle down. So Helene's going to have a big impact on us. Rain, high winds, power outages, and some flooding with that. Now, here is what European model says. This is just, it says through October 2nd. That's not correct. I forgot to change the label, I guess, on it, but this is just for Thursday into Friday night, okay? Up to 3 inches of rain in the Falmouth area, 2.12 in Batesville, and this is consistent with the map we just saw. So if you're up in Lebanon, 1.68, almost 2 inches up in the Hillsborough area, 2 inches about in Batavia. A lot of people are going to get a lot of rain. Some of it's going to come down too fast to be good. It'll just run off instead of soaking in. But this should go a long way to alleviate the drought conditions around the tri-state. Okay, that's the European model. The American version of the same kind of model, less than an inch in the Connersville and Liberty areas, about an inch in Middletown, as much as 2.5 inches, or close to 2.5 anyway, down in West Union. So the American model has a little bit of a different idea. So if you would average this, we'd say anywhere from 1 inch in the far northern part of our viewing area to as much as 4 inches in the south, and that is what we can do now. So remember, Thursday not a big deal, but Thursday night, Friday into Friday night, first of all, heavy rains, so that means a slow go on the roads, high winds picking up, especially Friday afternoon and early evening. That could mean a lot of power outages, and we could see some flash flooding in some spots around the tri-state. Woo! Okay, now let's go to what the model shows and give you a little bit better idea on the timing of that precipitation. Okay, so we'll put this into motion, and this starts at 8 p.m., and you can see a few showers in the area out there, but not much, more like sprinkles. Keep it going as we head to tomorrow morning's commute. For the most part, it looks like a dry commute in the morning. As we head through the day, maybe a few showers popping up. But again, for the most part, a dry evening commute. So the good news is travel weather looks okay tomorrow. By the time we get to 8:30, we're beginning to see rain bands from Helene come into the southeastern counties. So by 8:30 p.m. Thursday, Mount Olivet, Maysville, Old Washington, West Union, Vanceburg, Kinnickinnick should all be getting some rainfall. Excuse me for a second. I'm talking so much I need to take another swig of Diet Mountain Dew here. Okay, so then let's put it back into motion. And there you see by 4:30 a.m. Friday, the yellow patches are brief heavy downpours. The dark green's a little heavier. So light to moderate to heavy rain over the entire Fox 19 Now viewing area. Looks like a very slow Friday morning commute. Tends to break up a little bit during the day. Okay, we're still at 8 a.m. here, but during the day it breaks up a little bit. But just after noontime, another band comes in, and look at this. You can tell this is a tropical storm or a hurricane feeder band just by the shape. See this curve right here? So this is an entire band coming around the remnants of Helene that's going to move on into the tri-state. And if you look at this, watch. I mean, and we've got hours and hours and hours. We may have 5 to 6 to 7 hours of steady to heavy rainfall. Now, this new model says by 6 p.m., everybody's getting wet. Most high school football games begin 7 to 7:30, I guess. Put that back into motion, and it begins to dry out during the evening. So the rain should taper off while high school football games are going on, but the winds will be tapering off, but it'll still be windy, wet, and not very nice. By 2 a.m., the rain's coming to an end, and that pretty much takes care of what Helene's going to do to us Friday into early Saturday morning. Now we go back to this. This is the drought monitor that came out last Thursday. The drought monitor comes out again tomorrow, and it's going to be really interesting to compare these two because the drought monitor includes rainfall through Tuesday. And Tuesday is that's yesterday, when CVG had a record rainfall of 2.03 inches. That's the record for the day, for the 24th. And so we'll have to see what the changes are. I mean, it should be some improvement in most areas, but the drought monitor takes into account that not only is the surface of the soil dry, but when you get down there, it's really dry. And like I told you, when I dug the hole today in my garden, got down about a foot, and it was bone dry. There wasn't even a hint of any kind of moisture in that clay layer. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll talk more about the drought monitor during the day tomorrow. Okay, as far as today goes, we're looking at through the 5th of October, it is going to be a little bit warmer than normal. It's not much. You see the hottest weather out at the Four Corners area in the southwest. By the time we get to the 9th of October, still warmer than normal, and this is the one that will be updated Friday. It keeps us warmer than normal through the 23rd. Okay, and remember, normals are dropping into the 60s here during this month, so when it says warmer than normal toward the end of the month, it could only be in the mid to upper 60s in some cases. Rainfall, well, it only looks wet in the far northwest, New England, and Florida. Okay, look at that big dry area out west from the 1st to the 5th. Well, guess what happens? Well, it kind of pushes its way eastward, and so from the 3rd to the 9th, looks like the Fox 19 Now viewing area goes into much drier weather once again. And again, this is the one that will be updated Friday. It sticks with us as we head to the 23rd. So we've had a nice period of much needed rainfall. Nobody, even the places that got 2 inches, didn't get what you need because a lot of that 2 inches just ran off. And again, remember, it takes a while to build a drought. A drought doesn't happen. A drought builds up day after day after day after day. When you have less moisture and less rainfall falling, then you have, that doesn't quite meet the demand. And so it's not just a matter of normal rainfall. It's a matter of how much rain you get, how much demand there is. So if you have a summer that has below normal rainfall, but it also has below normal temperatures, you might not be in too bad a shape. But if you have a summer that has above normal temperatures and below normal rainfall, like this summer, that's when you get really dry. And that happened this summer, and the last time it happened was 2007. So we don't have enough time to completely bust the drought. Even though we're going to get a lot of rain during the day on Friday, it's not really going to be a drought buster, because something like a drought that takes weeks and weeks and weeks to build up takes weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks to get rid of, because not only does the rain have to fall, it's got to fall in high enough quantities but in slow enough rates, so it can't fall too fast, so there's time to soak into the soil and get the whole soil column wet. And that hasn't nearly happened, and that won't even happen through Friday. Okay, so let's go and look at the 7-day forecast now. Looks like this: 61 and 77 for Thursday. I've got showers in the forecast Thursday. Friday, rain heavy at times, especially late in the day. There'll be some thunderstorm activity in there. It's a first alert weather day because wind gust could reach 60 miles an hour. Rainfall will be heavy, so travel conditions will be bad because of wind and rain. We're looking at the wind combining with the effects of the drought on the trees, bringing down more limbs than normal. And so we're also talking about power outages and then maybe some flash flooding on Friday. Saturday, isolated showers, chance in the afternoon on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, scattered to isolated showers back in the forecast, with high temperatures down to 75 by Wednesday, but that is above normal for Wednesday's date. Now, if we go out to the 9th of October, oh boy, look at that. The rain has disappeared, so we go into that dry pattern I just mentioned. So it looks like right now from the 3rd through the 9th of October, no rain in the forecast. And here's the summary graphic. I didn't get a chance to tweak it today, so it might not look too good. There's a little break in the line there. They're the highs, they're the lows, and so we kind of end up, as we head toward the 9th of the month, we kind of end up right around normal. So we are talking again about lots of weather activity going on. And mark my word, my sister just called me. She and my brother-in-law were going to meet their kids and their grandkids, and they were going to do some camping Friday night. And she asked my advice, and I just said, well, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but if it was me, I would not do it, because even though they're not tent camping, they're camper camping, you don't want to be in a place where there are a lot of trees that could come down in high winds with heavy rain and all that other stuff. It's better just not to do it. So, and I think they'll take my advice. All right. Okay, let me switch cameras here. Camera 1. Now we're on camera 1, and you know what that means if you watch all the time. About to go to Facebook, see what kind of comments I have. Right, let's see here. And let's see. Okay, Susan Wally, hi there. Good evening to you. We're looking, Kathy Short says hello. Hello, Kathy. Melvin Stone Street. Hi, Steve. It's going to be cool this week. I'm afraid not. It's going to be kind of warm and humid, especially with that rain that's coming our way from the remains of Helene. Sarah DeWitt. Hope, just saying, I hope I'm having a good evening. Hey, when I can talk about weather and have people wish me or hope that I'm having a good evening, it's a great day. So yeah, I'm having a good evening, Sarah. Thank you for asking. Patricia, we have several things going on. We actually have 2 live feeds going on Facebook right now. And Patricia said, okay, that's new. That's all the news we need on the evacuation. Please continue the regular programming. I know a lot of people that are Jeopardy and Wheel fans like that to happen. I have no control over that. This is the Facebook Weather Live, and we've got a second one going on Facebook and on the TV, which is covering the latest on the. And by the way, if you're involved in it and you haven't heard, they've lifted the evacuation order for the styrene spill area, and everybody's allowed to go back home and try and get things back to normal. So that's good news, and I think that's what Patricia was referring to. Okay, it's over. Let's move on and get back to normal. All right. All righty, let's see. So Susan Wally said, didn't even get a half an inch in Blanchester, so the rain Friday will be nice. And yeah, so and Blanchester is in that, okay, let me, I just hit the keyboard and it did something strange. let me go back to that precipitation map for you that we have. Again, here it is. Okay, I'll call it up here in just a second so you can get a better idea. All right, so there's the rainfall accumulating. It's the hurricane, or what's left of it, comes north. And we zoom into our viewing area. And so most of us will see from 1 to 3. And when I say 1 to 3, if you're up in Fayette and Union counties, more like 1 to 1.5. If you're down in like Switzerland, Southern Boone, Kenton, Campbell, Adams, Brown counties, you may end up with that 3-inch amount. So it's most in the south, least in the north. And if we take a look at this, you can see the Hillsborough area, almost 2 in Batavia, 1.5 inches in the Wilmington area. And so when you're out near Blanchester, you're going to have, you should end up with a lot of rainfall. And like I said, Susan said they only got about 1/2 inch in Blanchester. We got about 0.96 based on radar estimates at my house. And today I had to dig in one of the gardens, and the topsoil, the loose stuff that you turn over in the root zone, just beautiful and nice and wet for a change. You get down to the clay and it's like a desert. It's like concrete. I had to dig a hole, and I had to go back and get a pickaxe because the shovel wouldn't work. All right, so Nick Fisher. Yes, is there a dry spell expected after the hurricane? And I probably already answered your question, Nick, but just in case you joined late, here is what it looks like beyond the 7-day forecast. So the hurricane comes in Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and this picks up after that. But it looks like after a few days with scattered showers, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then we go into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and all that 7 days there without rain. So another dry spell. And that's not good news. We need the rain, but at least it's not really blazing hot, too. Margie Smith Hillenbrand says hello from Harrison. Hi, Harrison, and hi, Margie. Thank you very much for watching. Oops, now I did that again. Okay. Benjamin Hacker said the rain was crazy yesterday in Cheviot, or Cheviot, if you prefer. And let's see, but in Cheviot, got about 1.5 inches, haven't mowed in over a month. You know what? Same with us. We actually planted some clover in our side yard, and in trying to water all the gardens, I never got around to watering the clover, and it's dead. So I knew what you mean. All right, so 1.5 inches, that's good in Cheviot, or however you want to pronounce it. Anthony Hart said, hope I had a great night. Yep. And then there's Renee Hodge. How much rain Saturday? Should you cancel Saturday evening outdoor plans? Well, if it's really, really water sensitive, yeah, but you won't have anything heavy like Friday. It'll just be scattered showers. Excuse me for a second. So, Renee, it'll just be scattered showers for Saturday evening. Shouldn't be that much, but if your plans are something that's really water sensitive, yeah, it could be a problem. Okay, so then let's see then. Brenda Webb says, hi from Alexandria. Is Saturday rained out? Probably not. I think scattered showers. You may see more than one shower, and so there'll be rain, but it won't be a drenching downpour kind of rain. Okay, Halloween night. Oh my gosh, I can't go that far yet. So Sam McMillan wants to know what weather will be like on Halloween night. Don't know that yet, Sam. And he says because he likes giving out candy to the kids. So. Oh, okay. So Jordan Myers said just joining. Sorry, she wants to know. She heard me say flash flooding. That is for Friday. Okay. So as the remnants of Helene come our way, we expect anywhere from 1 inch to 1.5 inches far north of the city in our viewing area. And then when you get down to like Owen, Grant counties, you may see as much as 4 inches. And even in places that only get 1 inch or 2, it might come down really fast at times. And so, yeah, there's the possibility of some flash flooding for Friday, late afternoon into late Friday evening. Okay. And then, of course, the additional problems that you might have missed, Jordan, is that we expect winds, and some of the models are starting to say maybe 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and that would bring down a lot of trees and tree limbs because the trees are stressed already from the drought. And in addition to that, tree limbs seem to love to fall on power lines. And so there's probably going to be power outages. So possibility of flash flooding, possibility of winds gusting into the 60s and damage to roofs and things like that, tree damage along with power line damage. So it could be a very busy Friday evening here in the weather office. Okay, that is it for now. Let's see, it is 7:45. Got no more comments there. Let me go back to the 7-day forecast here. We'll look at that again, and then I will say goodbye and hope you can join me again tomorrow. We'll have more updated information on the specific track. Okay, you know what? Before I get to the 7-day forecast, I knew I'd think of something I wanted to tell you more. Go back to the track of Helene for those of you that joined in late. Okay, so we'll just start with the satellite radar loop here. And what you're going to see is, okay, and you may see more of me than anything else until I switch camera views. All right. Okay, now you can see some scattered showers out there. We zoom way down to the Gulf of Mexico, north of Cancun. And there is the hurricane. Now, this is a visible satellite, so the sun's setting over it, so it tends to disappear. But it's a Category 1 with 85-mile-an-hour sustained winds, gusts to 105. By tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m., expected to make it to a Category 4 with 130-mile-an-hour winds, and then head toward the coast of Florida. Now, there's a possibility Helene could remain a Cat 4 as it comes on shore. I'm hoping not. But more than likely it'll be a strong Category 3. But whatever it is going to be a big problem because there's a funneling effect going on here. Here's the track of the storm. Notice the shape and the direction the coast of Florida is pointing. So what you're getting here, the winds circulate like this around the hurricane, and so the winds are blowing like this. They get funneled, again, the winds and the water are flowing, get funneled by the coast and the track, and so that could lead to record-setting storm surge here in this part of Florida, the Big Bend area, Cedar Key, over here to Perry. So it doesn't look like a good situation for them. And then for us, it just kind of winds and kind of spins its way around over in the western part of Kentucky and Tennessee. Wind gust, here you can see, here comes the hurricane, all that yellow down around Florida, coming on shore, coming our way, heading off to the west. And this particular model is saying that at 4 o'clock Friday afternoon, we may be seeing 64-mile-an-hour wind gust. That would mean plenty of power outages. With the rain coming down, that would mean nearly impossible driving conditions. And that's probably going to mean some roof damage in that, even if you don't have tree damage. And then the winds do settle down as we head on in to Saturday. And then as far as rainfall totals go, there you see the rain building up. Some of the forecasters are saying as much as 20 inches of rain over Great Smoky Mountains National Park down around Dollywood, and that would lead to catastrophic flooding down that way. In our area, the light blue is up to 2 inches of rain, 1 to 3 over most of the viewing area, and then 2 to 4 in the red in parts of Carroll, Gallatin, Owen, Grant, Pendleton, and Lewis counties. Okay, and specifically the European model is saying anywhere from maybe just under 1.5 inches to almost 4 inches down south. The American model has less rainfall, so I would kind of take an average of both. So I'd say maybe 1 inch in Connorsville, maybe as much as 3 to 4 inches in Owenton and Maysville. And that's that part of it. So let's go to the 7-day forecast. And what you'll see here is 61 and 77 on Thursday, 79 on Friday. Friday is the first alert weather day. Again, rain, wind, flash flooding, power outages, and then isolated showers Saturday. So not much in the way of rain Saturday for your plans. Chance Sunday afternoon, then a few showers Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before it begins to dry out for that 7-day stretch that you'll see here. So then Thursday through Wednesday the 9th, looks like the weather will be dry and warmer by a little bit than normal. Even the high temperature of 70 on the 9th is a little warmer by about a degree than normal at this time of year. So that's it. Thanks for joining me. Have yourself a nice evening. Join me again tomorrow. We'll have the latest for you on Helene and the latest forecast for precipitation, winds, and all that.